How's it going, everyone? My name is Adam and welcome back to Driven Nashville. If you're new to the channel, we produce weekly enthusiast-driven car content, and today we have what is one of my all-time favorite cars, the Porsche 911, but this is a GT3 in the very, very exclusive Touring specification, or Touring spec. So this has all of the same DNA of a GT3, right? It has the McPherson, dual McPherson strut setup. It has the flat six 4.0 liter engine making 502 horsepower and 346 foot-pounds of torque, which this car will run 260 in 3.7 seconds. Weighs only 3,071 pounds. Now this is in Carrera white, satin black wheels, standard Porsche brakes. Also has some really nice touches, including the carbon bucket seats here. And I do like the trim. Has the upgraded leather and offset stitching pattern here with the GT seat inserts here. 6-speed manual transmission. Now you can actually get these optioned in a 7-speed PDK. And if you do get a 7-speed PDK, it drops the 0 to 60 to 3.1 seconds instead of 3.7 seconds. But just look at the sexy lines of this car, right? Believe it or not, removing the swan neck, and when this wing comes up, I've been reading that this actually gives almost the same amount of downforce. But man, I tell you what, this thing is so gentleman's touring. $185,000 MSRP right here. So not an expensive car from the factory necessarily, although this car is currently for sale right now for $295,000. So these are going well over MSRP, and we were talking about a car here that is over $110,000 over MSRP. I'll go ahead and show the window sticker right now so you can see what this thing is spec'd at. Now again, coming onto the front here, in a normal GT3, this is all painted that kind of black, or excuse me, gray color. So this is all painted here, but it still maintains the cooling ducts to help cool the brakes and add extra downforce. As you come back here, the only really thing that's different about this particular GT3 is you see no swan neck and it has the badge here. You can pop this open, add some fluids, and otherwise you see no engine. It is just the fan. You still get the normal GT3 diffuser down here with the double quad pipe exhaust. Looks amazing. You can see here there's some additional cooling lines that are all active. Overall though, a hot car. 315 rear tires and 255 front tires. These come stock with Michelin tires. These tires right now are, I believe these are Cup 2s. They are Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, so very track focused tires. Be very careful driving this around in the rain. You know, real quick before we take our point of view drive, this right here is all carbon fiber, and it is a very practical car. You still get the front trunk. And if you're interested to see what this thing looks like with the rear trunk open or the rear hood open, or whatever you want to call it, that's all you get. Just says the 4.0 liter, has 2 active fans, and this is where you put some of your fluids for the vehicle. Nothing exotic or special, not like the old school GT3s, that's for sure. We want to thank you very much for watching our content. If you're interested in it, please subscribe. We produce this mostly weekly. I also want to give a really big shout out to Direct Auto of Tennessee. Charles Harris and his team over there are just fantastic. They specialize in Porsches, and that's why they get some of the best Porsches in the country, including this one right now. If you're interested in the vehicle, in the comment here will be a link to their website. This thing is probably going to be sold before the review drops. These really hot, desirable GT cars go fast, but if it's still there, hey, maybe you can get a shot at it. But overall, guys, really appreciate you watching. It's a really hot day today. It's about 95 degrees, so I'm gonna do my best to just get out of this heat here in a second. But hopefully you enjoyed my introduction on the car. So hope you enjoyed the review. Let's take this thing for a drive. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. We've done a couple of electric cars recently, so it's nice to get back into a naturally aspirated flat six, especially one with a manual. How fun. Yeah, real quick, guys, before I get on to this point of view drive, I gotta say it's an injustice not to talk a little bit about this interior. Guys, it's just Porsche quality in here, you know? I really like the new design here. You have a cup holder here. You have really nice tactile buttons here for your, you know, fan control, dual climate here. Everything just has a nice click to it. It feels good. You have your different drive selector mode right here on the steering wheel. It gave you the ability to talk to the car here, your phone controls, but still kept the very GT-esque steering wheel, which I really do like, as you can see. I also like they kept a traditional looking tachometer in the middle, but then they made this right here where you have your your miles per hour, and then this is digital, and then this is digital. So all of these different screens, adjust based on what setting you're in, which I think is really, really neat. Now you can see your engine temperature on the right here, or on the left, excuse me. You still have the Le Mans style when you want to turn the car on. You can adjust your different lights here. You have your lock features here. Your adjusting mirrors are here. And overall, I mean, just look at some of the GT Touring finishes here. This right here is part of the Touring package they give you. It's just a really nice kind of snake skin looking material all across. You do have the seat deletes in the back here, so you do have some room back here. Porsche crest in the seat, all carbon buckets, full carbon on the back. I mean, just a really nice place to spend time, I gotta say. That's your lift right there. So the car is actually raising, I think, 1.5 or 1.8 inches, which is great for your low driveways. You can turn off your traction control here. Here's your dampener settings right here. So it's just one click, okay? All right, I don't know about you guys. Let's go for a drive and see what this thing can do. Dang it, I'm excited. We are driving the new 2022 Porsche GT3 Touring spec. Now, this car is not the easiest manual transmission to drive initially. Once you get it out of first gear, very, very easy, but you do have to give it some fuel almost immediately to get it to engage without stalling out. So if you go ahead and put it in gear here, I like to actually kind of give it a little bit of gas and then let off pretty aggressively. It doesn't really like to be babied, okay? Now we currently have the car in sport mode here. You can see it's fast, and you really do feel all of the different bumps in the road because of this GT3 suspension, and the steering is almost telepathic. It's really incredible what they've been able to do with the new steering in this car and the new suspension. I mean, it's one of the bigger improvements over the 991 generation. Now, you do not get max torque until 6,000 RPMs, and you don't get max performance, being 502 horsepower, until 9,000 RPMs. So you really got to run this thing out if you want to have a good time. Much rather have the naturally aspirated power plant. It's more fun to run out. It's more usable power. Trust me, it's plenty of power for the street too. And if you really want to have a good time with this car, you're going to want to just keep it in a low gear. Second or third gear around these roads will be just fine. Now we're heading to some of my favorite roads here in Clarksville. We'll be able to run it out, probably top out at least third gear. It is quite loud in here. I hope you guys can hear me fairly well. I mean, we're talking about 83 decibels. I will say the brakes are warmed up now. They feel great. Woo, this car is fast, no doubt about it. Unbelievably capable. It feels good. It definitely feels good. All that weight in the rear there, definitely feels nice. Plants, keeps those rear wheel 315 size tires nice and planted through these turns. All right, guys, we're on some of these back roads now. Boy, I tell you, this car's got a lot of performance. This suspension, though, you do feel just about everything in the road. I hope it's picking up on camera. You really gotta pay a lot of attention because the road can easily jerk the wheel. We're on fairly decent roads back here, but they're not the best. You can see it's darting everywhere. Boy, you can hear how loud it is in here too. Very visceral experience. And I gotta say, it's reading 102 degrees right now, so if we're not having a problem today, I don't think we're gonna have a problem in this car. A lot of performance for the street, no doubt about it. Fun car, no doubt about it. I mean, there's a reason why these things are just so desirable. You just listen to that soundtrack. This thing has the Bose premium sound system, but I don't think I'd use it very often. It's so damn loud in here. You're gonna barely be able to hear it anyway. Definitely not the car you're gonna want to take on a nice long drive and have a very stimulating conversation. And look at it, I mean, that's 4th gear, and I can't even top it out, even on these back roads. So the only place you're really going to be able to fully exploit the car is, of course, on the racetrack. And even then, like I said earlier, you're only going to be able to do it on very select few, racetracks. But hopefully that gives you somewhat of an idea of what this car is like to bang through the gears. I gotta say, it's easy to drive, but if you really want to speed shift, and this thing can do flat foot shifting, I mean, you really gotta be on your A game. It's not the easiest car to just get in and go 10-10 on. I can tell you the Spider and the GT4 feel very similar in the manual transmission, but because it has a little less power, it's a little easier to drive than this thing. But having said that, it's definitely a fantastically good driving experience. I'm having a great time here. Great turning radius right there. Ugh. Boy, this thing's got some performance, no doubt about it. Feels great. It just feels like a sports car though. This feels like a race car. Don't let the lack of wing fool you. This is a GT3 in every way. Boy, just listen to that engine. Golly. Pretty impressive. Yeah, these Cup 2 tires, they'll, on a 100-degree day, they're gripping. No doubt about that. I could take these turns way faster if I wanted to, but we're still on public roads, so we're gonna make sure we can always see in front of us. But an impressive amount of performance, no doubt about it. Do track mode and see if it changes it up at all. Not really. It still feels the same amount of performance. Experience. Nothing like full throttle shifts in the GT3 to get the SHIT grin going, let me tell you. All right, hope you enjoyed some of that. I sure did. One note that should be mentioned, rev matching, if you go into normal mode, you do not have rev matching. So then it's on you to kind of work that clutch a little bit, okay? But if you go into sport mode, it'll go ahead and blip it both on the up and the down, which is kind of cool. So obviously, if you're going to take it on a track, or frankly just driving around town, I would leave it in sport mode the entire time, because it just makes it idiot proof and helps the transmission last a little bit longer. But if you feel like the old school of making sure that you get the gears just right on the up and the down, go ahead and put it in normal mode, and it is happy to oblige. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the point of view drive. Boy, does this thing sound good, or does this thing sound good? My God, when you are over 6,000 RPMs, unreal what this engine sounds like. Yeah, the negative could be that it's a little high gearing. You really can't run out fourth gear on the street. You gotta take it to a track. And even then, you're probably barely gonna be able to run out fourth gear, depending on the track you're on. There's a couple of tracks here in Middle Tennessee that you probably could, but I guarantee you're not running out fifth, that's for sure. Now this thing will do 199 miles an hour if you happen to have a long enough road to do it, but overall, it's just the overall driving feeling, the sound of the engine, the sound of that 6-speed when you're shifting with the rev matching, the feeling of the brakes, the incredible, almost telepathic steering that this car provides. It's just really unbelievable. It's a great daily driver. You could see why they go over MSRP. I'm not sure if it's worth 100,000 over MSRP, but I definitely think that you could get 25 to 50 over and still feel really good about your buy. That's just my personal opinion. Thank you for watching our content. Please subscribe and share this with anybody you think might be interested in it. I'll look out for any comments about the car. We've been producing a lot of content lately. We're doing our best to produce it in this heat. It is unreal. It's like 95 and humid today, but car ran great. Gotta say, no issues from it, and just really appreciate it, guys. It's great to have you along the ride of Grown Driven Nashville. That's it for me. We appreciate you watching, and I will talk to you on the next review. I'm not even sure what it's gonna be, but I will give you a little hint. I believe I'm going to McLaren Charlotte here in the near future to pick up a 765 LT. You heard it here first, so watch out for that, because that's coming soon. We'll talk to you guys later.